Hello and welcome back. And if you're here for the first time, I guess just welcome. Today's focus tree, one of my favorites, Bulgaria. But not just any path, the democratic path. A path most of the time overlooked by a lot of people because it tends to be very boring, let's be honest. There's a reason why democratic paths don't have the best reputation. But the Bulgarian one is pretty strong. But without any more waiting, Araman, historical, and go. So yeah, at the start, we have a military. It is just not very good. This is really not good. We barely have any guns, and we have like 3 mill factories, which are already... You know what? I'm just gonna keep them like that. That's pretty good. Industry-wise, I'm just gonna build infrastructure because we are a civilian economy, and that's just built the fastest for now. Yeah, the modifiers here are not good. Research-wise, engineering, production, and tonk. And focus-wise, we immediately have to start with oppose the royal dictatorship, giving us more democratic and communist support, but losing our stability and giving us a very bad political power modifier. We want to get rid of that, but we can't do that anytime soon. It does take a lot of focuses and decisions. So the first focus is done. We immediately gonna rush down democratic principles for good political power, stability, democratic support, and some decent advisors. They're actually not bad. On the side, we get more support in the more democratic leaning factions. And if you ask yourself, what do I mean with factions? Yeah, Bulgaria has faction management, and we unlock that with the first focus. Here, we basically have to get rid of or integrate the different factions within our nation. That is the Sveno being the military, the broad socialists being the communists, the agrarian union being the democratic supporters, and the national socialist movement being the... I mean, you can guess as much what they are doing.
I love democracy.
And out of my personal experience, the best you can do is integrate them all, especially the Sveno. They give good military advices, and they start a coup if you don't deal with them early. But for now, I will not click anything here. There's a very good reason for that, and you will see it very soon. So, next focus is done. Bring us down to these two choices. Either we get rid of the monarchy and go full democracy, flipping us democratic way faster, or we seek cooperation with the Tsar and kinda keep him around. This over here is harder, because we need to get democratic really fast, but it halves the cost of every faction management decision. Yeah, that's why we didn't do anything there yet. And it has some better modifiers down the line. So let's do that. But yeah, I really didn't invest any of the political power over here because we are really political power stuffed right now. We get 0.4. That is so little. And the only real way we get political power right now is by doing focuses, which are limited, or integrating factions. Because yeah, if you integrate a faction, you get a lot of political power, which helps you once again to integrate the other factions. You will see that anyways. Most importantly now is that the halved cost here is something we need. Even though I would like to start now integrating, we can't afford it. It would be a waste of political power that we need for integration, but also for democratic advices. So yeah, in a min-max way, it's better to wait now. So focus is done. For the focus down here to flip democratic, we need 40% democratic support. And yeah, we're really far away from that for now. So let's do some other stuff. And this focus over here looks like some really good other stuff. Giving us more political power again, which we need. Cheaper political advisors, which we need. And daily democratic support, which we need. The only downside is that we lose some faction loyalty with the agrarian union, which I want to integrate first, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. So let's do it. And as I said, let's integrate the agrarian union. But then we need 100% loyalty. The only thing we can do right now is to allow speeches, so let's do that. As you see, it only costs 10 political power now before it cost 20. That was bad. So a joint act later, and we can legalize the organization, giving us even better options to increase loyalty. And because this entire minigame is kind of cool for me, but overall kind of boring, I'll just, you know, do it in the background and don't comment about it anymore. Just know I will integrate all of the factions because they are very useful. And my order will be agrarian union, Sveno, broad socialists, and then the national social movement. And on the side, yeah, we got worker strikes, which increases communist support. Not good when you want to increase democratic support. Because there's some political power to waste, I'm also going to get myself the democratic reformer as soon as possible. We need all the democracy support we can get. And that means all the democratic advisors. And with that focus now done, I'm not going to go down here, which is also a very good focus, but we really have to start doing this stuff over here. So let's start with cooperate with the Sveno, giving us more political power, war support, faction loyalty, and yeah, unlocks decision to cooperate with the Sveno. Most importantly, let's do it. Best of all, 35-day focus. Very good. An important thing to point out, we now have enough loyalty with the agrarian union that we can appoint members, allowing us to get a very good political advisor. More political power, more max factories, less resources to the market, and most importantly, daily democratic support. So fast focus is done, let's immediately condemn the Macedonian organization, giving us stability, political power, and basically positive loyalty with every faction but the National Social Movement. However, we're gonna integrate them last anyway, so I don't really care about them now. Most importantly about this focus is that it increases the chances that the United Kingdom allows us to rearm, and we really need to rearm. Just, you know, trust me on that one. There is a reason why the democratic focus stays very strong with Bulgaria, and it's not because we will have a peaceful playthrough. It is really not. So, that focus over here done. Could also do this focus over here, restrain the paramilitary organizations, which would allow us to integrate the National Social Movement, but we don't need to do that anytime soon. And there's way more important things we need to do right now. So let's go over here and acquire modern tools, fixing our industry by a really bit. On the side, I'm also going to spend some political power to do anti-MIRO propaganda. First step was getting rid of this horrible daily political power gain modifier. It is so bad. I just noticed that a slight brain fart because I got a democratic advisor before I had the good modifier that makes it way cheaper to get advisors. So yeah, if you want to be a bit more min-maxy than me, wait a few more days and then get him. I was a little bit impatient. And yeah, because I stated it earlier, we're gonna go down light tanks. I thought about doing medium tanks, but light tanks we can get way earlier and they are cheaper. I know you need more, but trust me, overall, they're still cheaper. Just alone the trading resources you need is so much cheaper. So we acquired modern tools. Let's negotiate Bulgarian rearmament. And on the side, I will also improve relations with the British because we kind of need them to rearm. And I'm not sure on historical if they always say yes. So I'm just gonna get that because it helps for getting the okay to rearm. And with that focus done, let's go down our industry path. A few more factories, infrastructure, overall really good stuff. And let's also demonstrate our policies of peace, which costs us 50 political power and we have to wait 90 days. I don't know what we demonstrate, but you know, it costs 50 political power. Maybe we demonstrate that half of our army doesn't have guns. That's, I guess, peaceful. Anyways, we integrate the Agrarian Union, giving us a lot of political power, stability, and yeah, the other factions don't like that. So before I click that button, I'm gonna immediately do a joint act with the Sveno before we lose too much loyalty that I can't do this anymore. And yeah, get the political power. At the same time, I'm gonna use the political power to finally get the leader of the Agrarian Union. All of the modifiers I named before. Let's go. And the rest of the political power, I'm gonna waste on raids. Long term, giving us more stability and decreasing the faction support over here even faster. And yeah, we're getting really close to 40%. Only 4% missing. I mean, there's always the random faction event that can increase random ideology support, but I'm just gonna gamble and hope it won't trigger. But while I still wait, let's improve our industry a bit more. Invigorate national industry. More civilian industry. Good modifiers. I mean, also some bad, but you know, I feel like the good here is better. And also some advisors and companies. Very good. And because we can finally do it, let's negotiate Bulgarian rearmament. Basically, all the green stuff we can do, I did, so this should probably go through. So that focus is done, and we have over 40% ideology support. So I'm gonna gamble a bit and hope that no faction event will trigger that changes ideology support for the next 70 days. Yeah, what could go wrong? Good news, we are allowed to rearm. That's actually very good. This was really important because we can now do this, delete our entire army. And if you think, why would you do that, Florius? We need the equipment and manpower to hunt down the MIRO activists. There's like no other real way we get this, and I have to rebuild my army anyway, so I don't care. And this is really important because this restores our political power gain. So in 60 days from now, we have nearly normal daily political power. Yeah, that's worth deleting my army for now. Trust me. In the background, okay, we can rebuild what we don't need for the decision, but it wasn't a good army anyways. And not gonna lie, my gamble paid out. We had no event. We're already at 44 support. That's actually quite a lot. So without any more waiting, or actually with a little bit of waiting, I forgot to improve relations with Greece. But no real harm done. While we wait for this, I can just get myself my 4th research slot. That's also really good, so not that tragic. I just noticed we don't know what artillery is, so let's research that, I guess. And because later it will be useful, let's get an agency. And yeah, we get like 2 events at the same time that change ideology. We were so lucky with those, so yeah, I guess let's just take the L. We can do some raids to kind of reduce the support. It's kind of stability farming in a way. So we got the research slot. Let's get the agreement. We approach the Greek government and we negotiate a non-aggression pact and better relations. All the other great powers will like us a bit less, apparently. Those stupid, less tension in the Balkans. All the other great powers, I don't like that. And yeah, the Sveno is integrated. Very good. I'm gonna use the political power I got from that to immediately jump up to partial mobilization. And we're democratic, so we can't go any higher without wars anyways. So this is the best we can get. And now let's integrate the broad socialists. And with the industry restored as it is now, I'm just gonna start building civilian industry. Yeah, not military, civilian. And yes, I'm not out of my mind. This has a reason. We're not just gonna sit here peacefully Italy and just start to play tall in HOI4, okay? This has reason to the madness. So, agreement is done. Let's do a Balkan confederation. Stability, political power, and we get our own little faction. Plus, very important decisions to integrate other nations. Yeah, integrate. So, this focus done too, and Greece joins. Very cool. Now we get a whole load of decisions over here. Like, a lot. And I have to say, we don't quite just have the political power to do all of these immediately, but for now, let's do the Balkan Summit. It just gives everyone in the Balkan, including Turkey, seeking democratic support and invest into the most important nations for the Balkan Federation. That is Romania, Greece, and if we have time, Turkey. Turkey here is a huge gamble. Sometimes they flip, sometimes they don't. I had them at 100% democratic support. It just stayed non-aligned. And yes, this is the reason why I'm building civilian factories, because to influence the nations over here, you're using civilian industry. So the more industry you have, the more you can influence at the same time, which means we will get all of the industry for free once we unite. It's pretty cool, right? But now let's do Romania, Greece, Turkey. For the big decisions that give a lot of democratic support, and the same for the lower decisions. But I don't have the political power for all nations again. So Greece, Romania, later Turkey. And yeah, we have like no civil industry left. So that's why I built that. And I kind of forgot to do a focus for a while. Oops. So let's just for now do consolidate the third Bulgarian state, removing the second national catastrophe. And on top of that, we get a modifier for weekly stability and research speed. Very good. But yeah, mainly right now, we just want to influence nations, turn them democratic, and pray that they flip rather earlier than later. And I did get myself a spy, so I could do diplomatic pressure, so I might even be able to force them into my alliance earlier. Something I didn't notice in my test runs, I just noticed now, Turkey is not neutral yet, which is a modifier that basically prevents them from joining our faction any other way than, you know, turning them democratic and forcing them via the focus. But if we could get the democratic support just up enough, we would be able to get them into our faction. That would be pretty cool. I think it's very unlikely to be able to do this, but it's interesting that you could do this. Maybe something you can use in your playthrough if it doesn't work for me, because I didn't really prepare for that. And yeah, I'm not going down this focus because this is the focus that invites all the democratic Balkan nations into our faction. So we're gonna wait for more democratic nations around in the Balkan before we do that. What we do for now is get the 5th research slot. Yeah, I really want that, so let's get to that. And because I finally have some political power left over, I'm gonna get the army offensive expert, giving me finally some army experience. Yeah, we need to do a lot of things before that. So yeah, I just noticed we can't invite Turkey. The world tension is also a fixed requirement. Sad, but it is what it is. On the other hand, we have already spread a lot of democratic support throughout the nations, so let's not stop here and do it even more. Romania, Turkey, Greece, and also click Yugoslavia, which I didn't meant to, because Albania and Yugoslavia are kinda not useful to integrate. We will get cores on them anyways, but Yugoslavia gets war declared upon by Italy very early on in a state where I'm definitely not ready, and Albania will be annexed even earlier. So I don't recommend investing in them and focusing on these nations over here, especially Romania and Greece. Yeah, now Turkey did the neutrality focus, so if they don't flip, we can't get them into the faction. So we shall see. So I went all the way down here with the focuses, and I'm gonna stop rushing down the research slot just for a little bit, because now I want to restrain the paramilitary organizations, allowing me to integrate them, because I'm very soon done with the socialists, and after that I don't want to lose time and just integrate the last faction, so we get no more negative modifiers and political power. Also, this focus gives us ticking manpower, which I really don't say no at the moment. We have like no manpower. I mean, the next focus over here, rebuild the army, puts us to limited conscription for free, so that will be good. Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't increase that yet. Would be a waste. So Italy is influencing our politics, giving us ticking ideology support, and an ideology I really don't want to have. I have a slight trick for this. So what I'm gonna do now is wait for 50 political power. Oh, I just got even more. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that plan just fell through because of very bad timing. Because the restrained paramilitary organization focus, the more ideology support in that ideology. And now we're like less than 1% over the threshold that I could do it. It's so unlucky. Anyways, I will not complain too much about it. Let's rebuild the army. On the other hand, we have integrated factions, so I have a lot of political power to spare. So let me do institute press censorship and see if we can get something to work. It's still going up. Oh my god. But better news, we can get the last research slot. It's actually going to be helpful. And yeah, Albania just stopped to exist. So their decisions are not here anymore. Yeah, it's kind of ways to try to integrate them. It's just not in time. But one last little trick I can show is getting rid of the last modifier of the MIRO. Because for this, you need to have a certain amount of divisions on the border here. And while this is going on, you will have a very harsh modifier, basically draining all of the equipment. Like really high attrition. My trick here, just make 2 with divisions and put them there. They don't say how big the divisions have to be. And this way you lose like way less equipment and no expensive artillery or anything. Yeah, just do that. On the other hand, you don't really need to get rid of this modifier. It's just less stability. On right next to it, we have a modifier endlessly increasing stability stability. So yeah, I'm just doing it out of principle. And by the way, Romania flipped democratic. That is quite early. Really good. Let's improve relations and we can probably get them into our faction before we do any focus. And also really good, we got our last research slot. Let's improve our industry a bit more. And I would say after that, let's unite the Balkan. Otherwise, this is going to be stressful. Yeah, basically when the World War starts, we can just invite Romania. We just need world tension. Pretty good. The only other important thing that needs to happen right now is that Greece also flips democratic. Otherwise, we're kind of under pressure. But if that decision's back, we should be able to do it quite soonish. 120 days, 10% democratic support, and best of all, they get a civilian factory that we basically inherit. On the side, we finished a very good industrial focus. And with that out of the way, I would say let's finally do this focus over here. Because at some point, I do want to get rid of the Tsar, but doing the plot just takes a lot of political power. So yeah, we didn't really have the time for that yet. And unironically, I think we've built so many civilian factories that we can actually go into milk production now. Really industrialize our nation right now. And yeah, that's the World War. And I guess it kind of woke up Greece because they just flipped democratic. So this focus we should do basically now. There's still a window of opportunity where Turkey technically could still flip democratic, but it is very unlikely. And if we wait too long, we're going to be in a big war with the Germans without being prepared at all. So now that this focus is done, let's go down this. Bury the grudges of the past. Inviting all the democratic nations in the Balkan into our faction. So basically Romania. And then at the end, allowing us to integrate them. That is really good. So Romania can join without the focus. I guess we just do that. It's fine for me. And yeah, it really doesn't look like Turkey will flip democratic. Kind of sad. I would have loved to get them in here too, but it is what it is. They have 74% support and they're still not flipping. So focus is done. No Turkey. Very sad. But let's not get too hung up on this. We have a Balkan to unite. So let's do Balkan Trade Union Secretariat, giving us a very good modifier. We finished this focus. Let's do United We Shall Prevail, giving me and the member of this alliance a very good core defense and attack modifier. Also organization. And the other side, Hungary is demanding Transylvania, but we're playing on historical, so that's normal. And because of some political power to spare, let's get the industrial concern, which will get so much better once we complete utmost optimization. It's kind of hidden modifier here, because if you look at the focus itself, it states it now. But if you don't have the company selected, you will never know that it will get stronger. It is kind of weird. It's kind of hidden, but when you know, you can get a cool bonus. There's a lot of these things in Bulgaria that I kind of like about this focus tree. And yeah, I'm just starting to simp about the focus tree and I'm gonna stop now. I mean, if you know my videos by now, you know there's just like the Bulgarian focus tree. It is really good. By the way, Italy, no. And yeah, we're going down mobile warfare. I'm gonna embrace the tonk. And with the national social movement integrated, we are finally done with the factions. All the factions are integrated. We got all the political power. Cool. And yeah, Turkey still isn't democratic, so good thing I didn't wait for them, because that was just been a huge waste of my time, sadly. They do sometimes flip way earlier, but with Turkey, it's a real gamble. They tend to not flip at all. But that aside, this focus is done. Let's unite the Balkan nations. Romania and Greece get unification of the Balkans event, and I core every Balkan state, which is basically Romania, Yugoslavia, Albania, Greece, my territory, of course, and some bits and parts of Turkey. Very good. But I do see something up there that I really don't like. I think Italy's doing the Greece focus. I'm trying to extend it via doing a non-aggression pact. They still like me more because, you know, influencing me modifier. So yeah, I might be a bit late to the party. I hope I can fix this, because if they declare war on Greece and I integrate Greece, I'm actually being dragged into the war. They thought about that possibility. Sadly, they did. So yeah, Italy has a war goal on Greece. Didn't declare yet, so the non-aggression pact might actually work in my favor right now. And Romania had also a slight rebrand. They're still in my faction, but they could flip any second now. So I'm just gonna pray that this focus goes through. It does, and everyone says yes. Oh my god, they do. That was really close. I think that event is not important anymore. Anyways, we inherited a huge military industry from both factions, and we also got the civilian industry we gave them. So let's put it to use. And what I'm also gonna do right now is to get the last industry modifier to make us really strong. Utmost optimization, amazing focus. Let's do it. I'm also gonna build a huge amount of mill factories now, because I'm gonna need them. Why are there uprisings everywhere, by the way? That's so... Oh, is Ethiopia? Oh, Ethiopia is still around. They actually won. That is so stupid. Ethiopia is around, so they're making uprisings all over Africa. I love historical. What I don't love is the color of my nation. I don't know, this dark black. I feel like I'm some kind of disease spreading instead of a cool nation unifying. And because I want to build a tank division now, let's get modernization drive. As always, very good. Making customizing tank templates basically free. Let's get it. While we're at it, let's also get maneuver warfare. Also very good. And yeah, I played with the thought of making this a tank only video, but you can't delete your army at the beginning of the game because of the modifier you have. It would be a very big stretch of the rules, so I decided decided against it. I'm still gonna work with tanks though, because tanks are cool. So utmost optimization is done. Let's finally get our best military modifier, Russia of the Balkans. And before that, we just have to do one more focus, which once again, 3 military factories, bonus for research. Let's do both. And yeah, I ceded this territory over to the Soviet Union because I don't want to fight the Soviet Union. And the Axis, you know, it doesn't sound like fun. Ethiopia is just trolling so hard with all of these uprisings. This is so stupid. And yeah, Ethiopian supported resistance. It is Ethiopia. You're weakening the Axis so hard. I'm literally afraid that the Axis will crumble, like even before I attack them. This is so stupid. And Turkey is still not democratic. No comment. But anyways, let's do Russia of the Balkans, giving us this beautiful modifier. Ooh, production output. That's actually really good. I'm gonna look forward to that. And no, Yugoslavia joined the Allies. I really hope the Axis win here, because otherwise I'll literally have to go to war with the Allies to get Yugoslavia. I don't want to do that. Yeah, good news. The Axis just steamrolled them. She's gone. Yeah, focus done. I would say, let's finally get rid of Mr. Boris. He has been here for a little bit too long, I would say. So let's change that. Here we go. First light tank is here. So Boris, goodbye. Germany starts to have some fun in the east. It's actually really late. It's 1941. They took the time for that focus. But you know what? I'm going to use the distraction to start my own push. So let's do recover Italian territories, where we basically demand Italian territory. It's pretty straightforward, okay? And yeah, finally, Boris is gone. So finally, no more negative political power modifier. That took a very long time. So focus is done. What do the Italians say? They say no. Bad choice. This means we now have a permanent war goal against Italy. That is pretty useful. Actually, very useful. I'm going to prepare for a little bit longer because I don't really have an air force, so I prepared some space marines. I don't have enough tanks to fill up my ranks yet, so it will take a little bit longer. But just in case, I'm also researching air force now. Soviets are not really holding pretty well. Otherwise, I would have been more bold with my tech. But I feel like if I take the Axis right now, I would be kind of on my own. And I think I'm not just ready for that. I do have tank divisions and they are pretty equipped. Even 36 with, so pretty decent, but not ready. What I can do is fight against tyranny, giving us a good spirit for motivation, organization, recovery rate, attack and defense. Plus, it helps us to get rid of the ideology we currently have faster. So once again, re-war goal. And yeah, I just took the other focus because I kinda, a little bit, slightly hoped that Italy would just give me some land, but no, they didn't. Okay, I'm about to declare war and I noticed a few very weird things. Firstly, Turkey is in an alliance with Spain and it did flip democratic now. Thank you, Turkey. Thank you. So that's cursed. Even more cursed is the Germans are just overrunning the Soviet Union. It feels like there's no resistance. It's so wild. But I do have enough anti-air tanks that I should probably be able to declare war very, very soon. Most of my frontline divisions are this elite template now, which is just 7.2s plus an anti-air tank, and that should hopefully be enough. Now I would say I wasted enough time waiting. It's 1942. Let's finally get this rolling. War against the Axis. Yeah, so far I'm holding out. They're trying to cast me a little bit, but I'm shooting down every time they do try. I should really invest into an air force now, and I'm nearly done with the last research. Having this engine should allow me to build really good fighters. Until then, I should just play a bit more defensive and not waste equipment towards a push that will probably not work out. What I can definitely do is make these tanks a lot cheaper by adding easy maintenance. Such a good upgrade. Unironically, it's so good. That should allow me to turn all my divisions into the Space Marine variant. And we're basically holding out nearly everywhere. There's just a few choke points where it's kinda not working out for now, but you know, it is what it is. So let's ASAP build some fighters because they're pushing me hard. That is a strong Axis. And yeah, we're holding out now. This was quite hard at the beginning, but I consolidated a little bit of land. It works now. I lost around 100k men and Germany lost 500,000. How did you do this already, Germany? Italy's another 200k. And yeah, they're really losing CAS. Once the CAS is gone, we will just melt all of this. So we're now at the point where the Germans lost as many men to me as to the Soviet Union. And with Italy, it's basically the same, just with the United Kingdom. They're just trying tactics that really don't work. I'm at 150k losses. This is nothing compared to what they're losing to me. I am so happy I invested into Space Marines because this would have backfired immensely otherwise. If you look at the equipment currently, those units are not really looking fresh anymore. They are really drained. And my plan now is to carefully, especially in spaces where there's not a lot of CAS around, just try to push through and kick them out. Yeah, first pushes are happening. Pretty good. And best of all of the Balkan is my core. So if I take this, I get the resources and the manpower immediately. Yeah, we really start to liberate the Balkan now. That is good. A little bit harsh to push through through the mountains here, but I feel like as soon as I get into the flatlands, we just dominate everything. At the same time, the Axis really starts to lose the cast. I feel like no more cast over me. Oh yeah, encirclements start to happen. And the last stand. But yeah, the Axis are really falling apart now. That's really good news. Once I consolidated this bump over here, I'll have such an easy time pushing because I have more than enough troops now. In the background, I've also started to construct quite the Air Force. It's not huge, but together with the anti-air I'm using, this should do a lot of damage. That's quite a considerable encirclement. Goodbye, Italian and German troops. Yeah, that will hurt. Germans are looking at 3.1 million losses, and the Italians nearly 1 million now. Yeah, I'm still at 260k. I'm doing pretty well. Anyways, for the first time, let's push. And yeah, they brought all of the cast back, but it's just not enough anymore. They are falling apart. So good. The encirclements, delicious. And I totally forgot about these focuses over here. They're really good, giving us more building slots and some really nice modifiers down here. So let's do that. And because I have nothing better to do, let's build civilian industry. We're doing really fine with mills. I have more resource problems now, so I guess it would be better for now. And yeah, we're looking at 100 mills at the moment. As Bulgaria. Pretty decent. Yeah, that is liberation, I would say. Very good. Now, I haven't even used my Air Force yet, by the way. Just have a few fighters over here, but they're not doing anything at the moment. So what happens if we actually use them? They're completely melting now. Yeah, I thought as much, to be honest. But what I will do, because we own Hungary now, I will go to local autonomy and use the horse. I will also convert the horse to only use horse, because the horse also use motorized. Don't ask me why. The encirclements here are really good. I just have to consolidate the entire front line, because, yeah, Soviets got some land back and that split everything apart. Not good. Down here, we have two really good industrial modifiers. I would say I'm gonna go with this one over here. Faster construction, more factories, less consumer goods. Sounds pretty strong. Maybe should chill for a little bit, though. I'm pushing too deep into the Soviet Union now. I should really chill. I can really go on my doctrines now. Nearly done. So good. I'm at 42% war participation now. That includes the war against the Japanese. That is amazing. Wait, what? Why? Why is Turkey declaring war on the Allies? Turkey no chill is playing through. Like, what is going on? Yeah, breakthrough in Italy. For that, I love light tanks. They're so fast. Especially with Air Force now. It's so good. Oh, the cast damage. Oh, they're getting cast. They're getting heavily cast, yeah. And here we go. Civil War. And I got it. Let's go. Yeah, this is really, really good. And Italy capitulated. Yeah, I rushed down Rome, and that's all the land I had. So that's one of the great powers gone. And I'm pretty sure that on the side of the Axis, Bulgaria won't be a great power this time. So only Germany left. Let's take care of that. Not gonna lie, that gave me some really good encirclements. Goodbye, tank. So I would say after all of this trouble, let's finish this. And you know what? The war is going so good, and I'm already in the Soviet Union. I'm just gonna declare war on them too. Why not? I really don't want to give them back the land. It's my land now. At the current point, Germans lost 5 million men. Italians another 1.4. I mean, I'm close to a million now too, okay? I did lose a lot of men myself, but just still not comparable. And I'm also pushing. And then people say democratic focus trees can't be fun. Look at that. Yeah, by the way, if you forgot, I'm democratic, right? It's still the dark, menacing color of the Balkan Federation, but we actually an elective government. And no, we're not going to do the Yalta conference. Soviets, I'm about to declare war on you. No. Oh, I've done nothing. But could I have half of Europe? No. But you can have a war declaration. Oh yeah, the pockets now are really good. Goodbye, German troops. Goodbye. And yeah, war won. And I have by far the most war score. War is over. The only real thing I didn't get was Vorarlberg. German Republic vanished into Vorarlberg. Oh, yeah, they deserve that. And yes, I love you, my viewer from Vorarlberg. Okay, Bregenz, wunderschön. Germany joined the anti-Bolshevik alliance. Not even the allies. For us joining the war really late. We did finish it in 1944. That was quite the turnaround we did there. I'm just saying. I have to deal with that now. Good thing I have a lot of political power to just deal with that. But it is very annoying. Yeah, I'm just battle planning the Soviet Union and it's going quite alright. Yeah, the Soviet Union is not animated normally. It's looking at 260k losses on my side and 1 million in the Soviet Union. And I'm the one pushing. I should have the losses. The only sad thing about this is that I can't do a collaboration government. parliament. I'm democratic, and democratic nations can't do that. But I don't even think I would have had the time to prepare it, because it does take quite a time to do it. Maybe a few months have passed. Maybe a year. Let's be generous. Not a lot of time for the Soviet Union, though. So, Turkey capitulated together with Germany. So, nothing changed. Same leaders, same nation. No one took anything. Only difference, Spain is alone now. Poor Spain. Yeah, I love pushing past the Urals. Such a good feeling. Please, Soviet Union. 98%. I need like 2 victory points or something. Promise there's barely any victory points left. And Japan has capitulated. I was afraid I had to take care of that again. But yeah, this time the Allies just did it. And of course, I have no war contribution. So you do what you must, Allies. Soviet Japan. Please don't be a great power. No, it's not. Okay. Just not gonna look at a peace treaty and concentrate on our war. Which a second later ended. Beautiful. I'm gonna take all of the Soviet Union, all of Mongolia. I guess I could take Soviet Japan and the Navy. Sure, why not? So, the Balkan Federation. 1945. Actually, quite a normal time to end a video. We own a lot of land now. We're basically an extended Soviet Union. Just democratic. And we now reach from Denmark to Japan. I guess a fitting end for the video. Turkey finally joins my faction. But anyways, those were my divisions. My patrons. I love you. Until next time. Bye.